It started with a scream. A single blood-curdling scream that echoed across the rice fields of BSE. A small village hidden deep in the foggy hills of northern Vietnam. It was a sound that shattered the quiet hum of cicadas and the distant clucking of fowl. A sound that sent shivers down the spines of even the oldest villagers, a sound that spoke of an ancient evil stirring in the heart of their humble community. Welcome to our channel, where the veil between the living and the dead is paper thin, and the legends whispered around flickering oil lamps come to life. Lan, a 22-year-old medical intern from Hanoi, had never heard this particular scream before. She'd only been in the village for 2 days, staying at the small rural clinic where she was volunteering for the month. But despite its tranquil beauty, something about the place unsettled her. Perhaps it was the thick blanket of mists that perpetually shrouded the mountains, or the unsettling creaks of the old wooden house she now called home. Maybe it was the locals' hushed voices when they spoke of the sea. The girl in the field, a local legend that had been passed down through generations. When she first arrived, Lan had laughed at their warnings. "Don't go into the field after dark," they told her. "If you see a woman with a red scarf, run. Don't speak. Don't follow." Lan thought it was just a superstitious folktale. A bit dramatic, perhaps, but just a story. In fact, when she first arrived at the clinic, one of her tasks was to deliver mosquito nets to the villagers. So it was just a few hours after her arrival that she found herself walking along the muddy paths that snaked through the rice paddies. The sun beat down on her back and the humid air clung to her skin like a second shirt. Yet she felt no discomfort, only curiosity. She wanted to see the village, to understand the world that existed beyond the walls of the clinic. But as the day wore on, a strange unease began to creep up on her. She noticed the villagers' uneasy glances and their hushed whispers whenever she passed by. The children playing in the fields suddenly fell silent. The elderly woman sitting by the roadside stopped her work and stared at her with vacant eyes. Even the dogs, usually so boisterous, cowered and whimpered, hiding behind their owners' legs. As dusk began to fall, casting long shadows across the landscape, Lan felt a sense of urgency to return to the clinic. The sky turned the color of old bruises and the air grew heavy with the buzzing of mosquitoes and the croaking of frogs. Just then an old woman emerged from the mist, her face lined and weathered like the bark of a centuries-old tree. She stared at Lan, her eyes filled with a strange mixture of fear and sadness. "Don't go back yet," the old woman rasped, her voice like the rustle of dry leaves. "It's not safe. This sea guy is awake." Lan laughed nervously. She thought it was just another one of their superstitious beliefs. But the old woman's terrified eyes made her question her own skepticism. Lan decided to stay at the clinic, tending to some paperwork until the light had returned. But sleep evaded her that night. Every creak of the old house, every rustle of wind through the bamboo grove outside her window sounded like whispers in the dark. And finally, when she succumbed to exhaustion and drifted off, she dreamt of white rice fields and a girl in an alde. When she woke, the sky was already bright with the promise of a new day. Relieved to have survived the night, she went to help prepare breakfast. Lan couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. She looked out the window, half expecting to see a pair of eyes staring at her from the field. But all she saw was mist. She spent the morning helping the village doctor treat patients, their ailments, a mix of modern maladies, and more mysterious complaints. Some of which
which sounded eerily similar to the old wives' tales she'd dismissed the day before. By early afternoon, the heat had returned with a vengeance.
Feeling restless, Lan decided to revisit the fields. Hoping the oppressive heat of the day would ease her unease from the day before. The rice paddies were quiet. No birds sang, no insects buzzed, and there was not a soul in sight. Lan walked along the muddy path, her white shoes soon caked in the red soil of the rice paddies. She could feel the weight of the oppressive silence pressing down on her. And for a moment she understood the fear that had driven the villagers to such desperate measures. Then, just as she reached the edge of the field, she saw her. In the distance, a young girl stood still, as a statue amidst the swaying rice stalks. She was beautiful, with long, flowing black hair and a pale complexion that suggested she spent little time in the sun. She wore a long white dress, an alda that flowed around her ankles, and around her neck was a blood-red scarf. Lan froze, unsure whether to approach her or run away. I looked. She stood motionless, her back to the setting sun, as if waiting for something. Lan took a tentative step forward, then another. As she got closer, she could see the girl's face. It was pale, almost translucent, with long dark lashes that cast shadows on her cheeks. Her eyes were closed, and her lips were parted slightly as if in a silent song. Lan cleared her throat and called out tentatively, "Hello?" The girl didn't respond. Lan hesitated for a moment, unsure what to do next. Then she decided to approach her. "Excuse me," she said again, a little louder this time. Still no response. Just as Lan was about to reach out and touch the girl's shoulder, she turned, and in that instant, everything changed. Lan gasped. The girl's eyes were wide and empty, like bottomless pools of darkness. Her lips curled into a grotesque smile, revealing teeth that were too sharp, too long, too animal-like to be human. Then, as if emerging from a nightmare, the girl began to speak. Her voice was a raspy whisper that seemed to slither down Lan's spine. "You look just like her." With that, the girl turned back, disappearing into the endless expanse of the rice fields. Lan stood there for a moment, her hand outstretched, her mind reeling. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the rice fields around her seemed to come alive with unseen presences. She could feel eyes boring into her from all sides, and the sound of her own breathing echoed in her ears like a death knell. Suddenly, a scream tore through the stillness, a scream that was part terror, part anguish, and Lan knew, with a certainty that defied logic, that she had stumbled upon something ancient and evil. Something that should have remained buried in the mists of time. And as the shadows lengthened and the night drew in, she realized with a dawning horror that she was not alone. In the field, something wicked had awakened. Just then, the old woman from the village appeared beside her, her face a mask of terror. "Run," she croaked, grabbing Lan's arm. "Run while you can." Together, they fled the rice fields, the old woman's screams echoing behind them like a lament to some forgotten deity. They ran until they reached the safety of the village, where Lan collapsed, sobbing, unable to outrun the horrors she had witnessed in the field. But as the villagers gathered around her, their faces etched with concern. She knew she could never truly escape what she had seen. The scream of the sea guys still echoed in her nightmares, a haunting reminder that some doors are best left unopened, some secrets best left undisturbed. And in the heart of those misty rice fields, the evil stirred, waiting for its next unsuspecting victim. What will Lan do now? Will she try to uncover the secrets of the rice field and the curse of the girl in the field? Or will she flee the village forever? Haunted by the whispers of the past, only time will tell. But for now, the mist has lifted and a new day dawns over the village of Bakyan. The sun shines brightly, the birds sing sweetly, and the rice paddies shimmer in the gentle breeze. But beneath the surface, the evil remains, waiting for its chance to strike again. And somewhere in the village, Lan stirs from a troubled sleep. Her dreams filled with the haunting image of a girl in an all-day in a blood-red scarf. And do you believe in curses? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more terrifying tales.